Welcome to our open Q&A. I apologize for my voice. It's just a little crazy out here. I'm visiting in Nevada, and all of the smoke from California is filling the whole sky. So it's a little bit tough today. So this is going to be our recap of our events for the last couple of days. And so yeah, we just wanted to say thank you very much. We have Erica Parr from Microsoft, and she is going to just kind of introduce herself a little bit, and then we'll do a quick recap, and then we'll get to your questions. And we do have Artura back on the line from our word session, so we're all here to help answer your questions. So Erica, if you'd like to come on and do a quick introduction and
Sure. Sorry to hear that you're under the weather a little bit. Heather, you've been such a great help. Just really quickly, we work well with our point of contact, Simona, with the St. Louis Public Schools. So we're here to help you. If you want any additional trainings, of course, reach out to Simona. We can support with that. I know, Heather, you have a Teams already created for all of the educators. And just to echo what Heather mentioned, this is just going to be a free-for-all Q&A session about what you all need more clarity on. I do have my colleague Artura Dobbins here, who's just going to do a really quick tips and tricks about Teams for the first few minutes. And we welcome you to add your questions to the chat. Look at those notes that you've taken over the last few days. Let us know how we can better support you. And Artura, I'll let you take it away from here.
Hello again. I'm so happy to be back. Okay, so please forgive me. I couldn't find my mute button. Let me pull up Microsoft Teams in my demo tenant. Erica and I just literally discussed this, and sometimes she'll vouch for me. Sometimes I can be a little scatterbrained, so I didn't pull it up. So I'm not sure if you all are already familiar with Microsoft Teams. I do know that we probably already did a training. If you all are like me, I was very reluctant to switch over to Teams because I didn't have a growth mindset, and I really thought that I loved Skype over Teams. As I became a little more familiar with Teams, I got really comfortable with it. Now I don't see how I ever worked without it. In here. Uh-oh. So it's pulling up. Erica, give me just one moment. It didn't pull up my demo tenant.
So while you're getting that worked out, Artura, I know I came into the Q&A for the Teams 201 session yesterday. It was a fantastic session with tons and hundreds of fantastic questions. And as I was going through and looking at those, there were a lot of comments, and I'm hoping some of the people who made this particular comment, I'm hoping some of them are online with us right now. And these comments came from the pre-K to grade 2 teachers, feeling very neglected, that they were not getting training for how to use Teams, how to use OneNote with all of their littles. And so in the Q&A, I posted a link to the recorded live event that we did during the virtual tech fair at I think it was just a few weeks ago, really, led by Jennifer Jury, who is one of my colleagues and an early childhood education specialist. So we did an hour, just over hour session just for pre-K to grade 2 on how you can use Teams and OneNote for your littles. So I posted those links. I also did, we do weekly sessions here in SLPS. And 2 weeks ago, we did pre-K to grade 2 again. So I posted those links in the Q&A. Of course, they are in the educator's website. So you are welcome to grab those webinars there, reach out to me. If we want to, Jennifer had told me today that she'd love to come and do a repeat session. So for all of your colleagues who are pre-K to grade 2, if you could just reach out to them, let them know that we really are here. We really want to help them, because that it is a very special group when we're talking technology, because as you all know, we're not talking about just the students, we're talking about their parents too. So I just wanted to say that really quickly, that they're not being neglected by any means, and we are here to support all grade levels. So that being said, I will be quiet now.
Thank you for that, Heather. Yeah, that's all great, great information too. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to go over a couple of things with you in Microsoft Teams. A couple of my favorite features. Oh, it did not share. Let's try it again. You all, I promise I'm much better than I'm pretending today. Much better. Okay, so hopefully you all can see my screen coming up right about now. And I'm going to go over, like I said, my favorite features in Microsoft Teams. So this is my demo tenant here, where I'll show you how I can do a couple of things. My absolute favorite feature right now in Microsoft Teams is over here. If you look towards the bottom left where my help button is, I just want to go over this, and I know it was already covered, but this is my favorite feature in Teams. So when you click the help button, you have the suggest a feature where you can you go ahead and click on that. I don't know if everyone understands how important this is. If you come down in here, I have over 57,000 people that voted for show a video for all people in the video meeting. So imagine if all of us could see each other right now. It'd be kind of like the Brady Bunch, right? So great news. In addition to being available on Windows and Mac, it's also being released on the iOS, the iPad. This is huge. And they're now working on getting it on Android, which is good because I'm a Galaxy user. So your voice actually does really matter. And say, for instance, you saw this and you just want to add to it. You just come here and you just click that I want to vote. You would enter your email address, which I won't do right now, and then your vote is submitted. And as changes take place to this particular comment, they will send you email notifications of it. Not a whole lot. You won't get blasted, but you will get notifications about it. If you scroll down, you see I want to use multiple Teams accounts. Over 24,000 votes on that. They're working on it. If you scroll down a little bit more, reply to specific messages in a chat on desktop. I cannot wait for this to be a thing. I'm talking to, we have a group chat that we do for the training team. Myself, Erica, Dustin, Tom, we're running through, Daniel, we're running through these chats, and Erica may have said something 2 or 3 minutes ago, and I want to respond to it. I have to respond at the bottom of that chat. I can't wait until this is a thing. So I will actually be voting for that. Right now it's on the backlog. It's not that important, but as more people continue to vote for it, it may push it on up the line, because they're like, hey, this is a big deal. People really want to see this. Your user voice is huge. So if you have an idea where you want to make Teams do all the work, not TAMS, Teams. I can type, I promise. Then you would, you put your suggestion down, and then I'm going to post a new idea. You can select the category, getting started, and then you type your idea and your email address. You post your idea. Of course, I don't really mean this, just hypothetical. Then eventually, after you get everything in, it'll show up down here. And then you can scroll through and you see there's plenty. Now, over here to the left of user voice, my feedback, accessibility. So if there's something you don't know exactly what it is you want, or if you don't know if you want to leave a suggestion, then come over here to the side to the public, and this is everything that's come up on it. If you want information about live events, you can click on the live events and scroll through and see everything that people have said. Guest registration for live events, that's going to be huge. Right now it's on the backlog, and they tell you why. Add live voting and polling to Teams live events. We're working on it. So as you scroll through here, allow upload of pre-recorded video. That's gonna be a big deal too. Now look, this one only has 795. It's under review. 676 is under review. So don't think that it's too big or too small. Our engineers are considering everything at least once. Another thing that I want to talk about is @mentions. So I talked to you about the help feature, and when you go into suggest a feature, make a note of that. Anything that you think that teams should be doing for you, go ahead and drop your suggestion in there. It'll help to build teams to be a better platform for you to use. We want you to use it. You have it. We want you to use it to the best of your ability, but we don't know how far that can reach until you tell us sometimes. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about @mentions. I'm going to go up here to the chat on the far left, and I'm going to click the chat button. And if you notice, I have a conversation here with Alex, Dustin, and Daniel. Oh no, I'm going to go down. Lunch group. So you see, I suggested, this was a few days ago, I suggested that we go to lunch at 12:30. Well, I was busy at 12:30. So I'm going to @Daniel, you bring me lunch. So what that does is I've put down in here his name. I'm putting it in the lunch group so he knows the focus is lunch group. Everybody will get the notification. Well, everybody will see this message, but Daniel will get a special notification because it's directed at him. So I'll send this message. And as you can see here, it comes up here. So everybody will get that. Everyone will see that. If we click up here to the activity and then click on my activity, you'll see here where, well, it's not coming up. It should show up, and I don't know why it's not. This should be showing up here as something that I said, but Daniel, you see here where it says @Daniel mentioned you, he will get the same, he will have a notification here that says @Artura mentioned you, and it will talk about how I asked him to bring me lunch. That's your @mention. So remember that when you're in a big group of people, and so say for instance, myself, Erica, and Heather are having a conversation, the conversation goes up, you know, let's see here if I can find a chat that has, okay, I don't have a chat that has a whole lot of conversation. Maybe this one. I can actually, you're going to hit that and it'll bring up a list of people that you can message. When you hit it, you'll notice where it says Dustin is highlighted in purple on my computer. And then when I hit next, like I said, he gets the direct notification on that. Another thing I want to talk to you about just really quick before we jump down into the question and answers is if you click up here, if you go into the top center of the page where the search bar is, if you click in here, you notice you can look for messages, files, and more, or you can type this / for a list of commands. I like the commands because once you become a more skilled user with Microsoft Teams, you'll definitely wind up using these commands. So if I / activity, so I can see someone's activity. If I want to set your status, if I want to set my status to available, then I can / available. And now my status is being set to available. I can also / away. Now my set status, if you notice here to the far right under my picture, now my status says away. / do not disturb, D&D. Now I'm red with a line through it. That means stop, don't even send me a message. I would like to not be disturbed. Now, one of our favorite features here to use at Microsoft is the / who. So if I say who is Dustin, it should, see Dustin. It may not do it because I'm in a demo tenant. but it would bring up information about Dustin, who's his organization. I'll show you an example. If you see here, I hovered over Dustin's name and I slide here where the organization chart is. If I click on that, it'll show me his organization. So when I do the /who, it should bring up this as well, or something similar. What's new? We can / what's new, and it'll bring you back to the help tab and show you what all is new. As of July 31st, you can preview new meeting, you know, it just helps you, like I said, to really get around Microsoft Teams really quick. There's one more thing I wanted to discuss with you. Oh, let me see here. That was the email. Erica had to remind me. She's so great, right? Okay, so if I want to start a new chat and I want to chat with Dustin, and then I want to chat with, I can go ahead and enter an email address. And it doesn't find any matches, but it should allow me to go ahead and send a message. And you do that by, you just enter that email address into the spot. You see here where it says enter your name, email, group, or a tag. And that way, if I want to email somebody outside of my organization, but they use Microsoft Teams, I can email them from, again, the whole goal of Microsoft Teams is to not have to minimize, maximize, you know, you want to be able to do everything from right there in Teams. So that's just a little refresher on a couple of the things that we may have covered in your training. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen right now and open it up to any questions that you all may have. We're really eager to answer your questions about, it could be about anything. It could be about Teams, Word, you know, Excel, whatever you have a question about. If we can get that question answered for you, we're going to go ahead and get you squared away at this time.
Artur, question about the command center. I think that's what they're referring to. Will it only work with their team?
Actually, anybody that's a good question. I've only used it with my team, right? So, honestly speaking, I don't communicate with a lot of people outside of Microsoft Teams, outside of my organization using Teams. I have, if my status is set to away or do not disturb, everyone should receive that. Everyone should know that. But if they're emailing me, they might not know it, right? Because they don't have they're not in Teams. They can't see that I don't want to be disturbed. So,
so I think it's two things, right? You can do it in your organization, not necessarily just your team, right? There's the difference, right?
Correct. So,
right.
And actually, yes. So if I set my status to do not disturb and then come over here to Teams and I'm a part of the sales, these are all the teams that I'm a part of. I'm in do not disturb for all of those teams. Nobody is to bother me, even the hidden teams. No one is to bother me at this point for the whole organization. So yeah, so you get that communication all across the board. Did that answer the question? See, I think I was thinking outside of the organization.
Yeah, no, I think that was I think that's correct. We don't have any additional questions at this time. So you all can just put questions in our chat. Heather, was there anything that you wanted to touch upon?
I'm just kind of waiting to see what kinds of questions come up first from our participants. Hopefully there are some things that we can review or go over.
Yeah, if there's anything you would like for us to just go over again, if you just want a little bit of clarification on something, no question is too big or small. If we don't have the answer, we'll get it for you.
Heather is adding links to her website. I also added a link for some more customer resources when it comes to just meeting in Teams meetings and activity. Heather, you have all of the educators in an SLPS team, right, that they have access to?
If they'd sent me an email and requested, yes, because I'm not in their tenant, so they have to email me so I can add them manually. But there's over, I think as of yesterday, we're close to 500 or 600 in the team now. So a good portion of the educators are in the team. And actually that brings up a point. I was just chatting with one of your colleagues, Lachey, and she was talking, she's a related arts teacher, and she had the question, since she has to be added into the homeroom teachers team, and her questions really surrounded how should she be using assignments and grades, because she's not the main teacher, she's just the related arts teacher. And I thought that was a really good question that maybe other people would need the answer to. And so what I was thinking was, sorry, my brain's a little fuzzy. If that situation is presenting itself where you come into the classroom and you teach a group of students, you teach multiple groups of students across the school, for example, so you're an art teacher, a music teacher. My thought, and Erica and Artura, if you have better ideas, please share. I thought if they should be added, those teachers should be added as teachers to the team to make them owners, so that those teachers could then post assignments in the team so that they can do their grading within the team as if they're just a second teacher. I know that can bring some security concerns in terms of you've got another adult who's putting grades in. So I think it would require an exceptional level of communication between the two teachers. But if you do find yourself where you are one of those teachers who goes in and teaches a subject to a different class, then I would suggest be added as a teacher, so you're a full owner in that team and you can use the assignments and grades.
Heather, I agree. This is one for you too. Is there a secretary's team?
No, there is not, but we could do that.
So should they just email you?
Sure. If anyone wants me to create that team, have them send me a quick email. I'll create the team and add them into it. It'll have the same information as the educators, although I can curate more specific business things versus educator things to it. Tiffany posted a great question. Some of the teachers are having trouble finding students, the new students. How can we add them who aren't pulling up when searched? I think that everyone needs to go to your IT and administrative departments. They're in charge of putting those students into your classes. And I've also received a few emails where people weren't able to even create classes. So I think that's a permissions thing as well. I'm not sure. It's not everybody. It's only certain people seem that they can't actually create a class. They can join with a code, but they can't create a new class. So that's new. I haven't heard that one, but it did come up over the last couple of days.
As far as handouts, again, Heather has the team for the educators. If you email her, you can be added to the team. And then from there, you could print things out, I guess, if you'd like. I can also provide some additional links for teams or whatever specific questions that you have. So if you wanted some video, will be videos, right? How-to videos. So if there were any specific topics or areas of interest, I can share those video links for you.
That would be great.
Also, I want to remind you, earlier I talked about my favorite feature in Teams is the suggest a feature. And I know in times past, the help feature has not been that great as far as help is concerned, but the Microsoft Teams help is even better than the Word one. And I'll just show you real quick. Come down here and click on help, and you go here where it says training. If there's something you want to know how to do in Teams, this is a great resource as well. Now, the stuff that Heather is sending out is going to be more specific, so please definitely see that. But check this stuff out too. Most of these videos are less than 3 minutes and they're interactive clicks. So if you learn more by doing rather than me telling you how to do it, this is how you would learn how to do that, as well as the information that Erica and Heather have sent out.
So this is a great question from Miss Thompson. In what situation would I be using these tools in the main office? I do not teach.
Using Microsoft Teams?
Teams, yeah.
Oh my. So I'm not a teacher either. So my whole entire work day is shared, is done mostly in Microsoft Teams. I'm gonna just briefly, I want to show you, like, if you look here really quick, this is my Teams. This is my actual Teams, and this is the work that I do. Just today, this is all the work that I do right here in my very own Microsoft Teams. So we use Microsoft Teams all day. So if you work alongside someone else, you're working on document, if you want to shoot a message to somebody, you're working in Teams. So you can click and say, send a message to Alex, and you can just say, hey, from right here. That's a chat. So you don't have to minimize and get up and walk down the hall. I know sometimes you may work with someone that's not in the office that you are. You may have to walk down the hall to talk to them or pick up the phone. You can just send them a message, and then you can pay attention to if they're busy or not busy. Let me see, set my availability to available. Then in your team, right? So if you're a secretary in the sales and marketing department, then let's click on that team. Let me just go into the sales and marketing team and show you a little something. So this is directed at you. This is the department, hypothetically speaking, that you work in. This is your general tab. This is where really these general conversations down here wouldn't happen in your general tab. But this one, new job postings, yeah, that's an announcement for the sales and marketing team. Then you also have the files tab. The whole sales and marketing team can upload documents here into the files tab and have access to them without having to come down here and search through your file explorer or open it up in SharePoint. They will all be listed right here. Your wikis, product launching, then you also have your monthly reports. So this is another channel within our sales and marketing team. So you have your sales and marketing team. This is your general channel and your monthly reports channel. This is all hypothetically. This is your department, right? So this is a conversation you're having about documents. If you click here, here's all your monthly reports for Italy, Indonesia, India, and then from right here within Microsoft Teams, I'm able to click into that document. Notice all of my Teams information is still here, and I'm working in this Excel document. Now, if you needed to jump into a document with me, we can do it right here and collaborate right here together in this document. If you don't understand how I'm coming up with the figures for cameras and accessories, then we can jump right into the document right here, right now, without ever leaving Microsoft Teams and have that conversation. Or we can, do comments. Right here inside the document. And then when we're done working, we just close out of it and I go back to what I was doing and you go back to what you were doing without the minimize, maximize, hold on, let me go search and find, like I did when we first started this call. It helps to eliminate that, to keep you a little more productive. I hope I've answered your question. Do you need me to, does that help?
I think that helps. Can you show them about even how to make phone calls in video chat?
Yeah, I sure can. Absolutely. So if you come over here to the far left, you just have a calls button, right? So I'm able to just, Megan is one of she's a marketing manager and I need to talk to her. I can do a video call or I can just hit call. And it's calling her right away. She forwarded me to voicemail. She's so rude. So she's probably busy, right? So, but the point is, I can make that call from actually clicking on the calls, or let's say, for instance, I had been chatting with Alex earlier. I can just click here where it says Alex, and I can do a video call. or I can do a phone call just by clicking right here. Now, if I come down here to where it says Daniel, Dustin, and Candy, I can click here, and if I call this, I'm going to call the whole group. So a lot of times, if you noticed in my team, we have different groups of people that chit chat all day, right? Like I said, my training team has a group chat called Squad. We're the squad, and we chit chat all day. And sometimes all we have to do is click this button. I need to talk to everybody right now. I can click this button, or I can click the video chat button. I tried to hide from it. I didn't want to get on camera. I wasn't ready. So anyway, be careful when you hit that video button, be ready. But if I want to talk to you, so when I went here and clicked call, it directly calls. And that's a little bit different than when you do a meeting, because when you do a meeting, it gives you the opportunity to get yourself ready, So when you click that call or that video button, it's going directly to that person or persons.
And also, everyone has a phone number. Artura, when you click the call button, I didn't see yours populate, but that's where you would find it over in this section here. Where's the phone pad? Like if you were going to actually dial a number? Is it maybe because you're in a tenant, it looks a little bit different.
Let me see here.
So when the phone pad populates, your phone number is there. So like, for instance, if I don't want to give anyone my cell number, I can give them my team's number. So that could be helpful too. So then, yeah, that's Artura's number there, the 314-798-0769. So people can call that number directly and get her, and it'll ring to her Teams application on her device. Or I don't know if you all are able to download Teams on your phone, but it's been a lifesaver for me, so I can talk directly to any of my colleagues through Teams on my phone and do all of the functionality that Artura also mentioned on my mobile device.
Another great thing I want to talk about real quick is the filter. If you come up here to activity and the filter and click on that, I always talk about lunch because, everyone gathers around food. So if I type in something that I'm looking for in particular, notice I have lunch, or anything that has something to do with lunch will pull up. So utilize that as well, the search feature. You can search your feed, or you can search the feed of everyone. So you can search my activity and it'll pull up everything I've said about lunch. And then if you notice the yellow box with the red around it, and then it faded to white, that let me know exactly where this particular thing is. So when I click it, it'll be yellow and then it'll fade to red. That lets you know exactly where I'm going to go. It directs your eyes to that particular notification. Any other questions?
Ms. McCray likes the cell phone information. Now, do they have to be a member of your teams? No, everybody will have an individual, from my experience, an individualized phone number. And Ms. Morgan wants to know if you can add a phone number. No, I don't think so, Artur. What do you think? No, it's just like it's automatically generated.
Because the idea is that I don't want you to have my personal number. So if there comes a time where you need to be able to call me directly, then I will just give you my number directly in a chat or, in a phone conversation separately. I wouldn't want to have that posted because, like I said, this is to protect our privacy, because you got that one person that always calls at 7 o'clock at night because she's, an overachiever and works really late. But you wouldn't want her to have your personal phone number. So if she calls you on Teams, like my notifications shut off at 5:30, and I get off work at 5 o'clock. So you have until about 5:30 to get that message to me, and then my notifications are set to automatically disable on my phone. My computer's off, so it doesn't matter. But I do have notifications set on my phone to where I get my first one at 7 a.m. and it'll stop at 5:30. That was a great question. These are all very good questions.
They want to know, how do you navigate notifications? Miss McCrae says, oh, you can turn your notifications off automatically. How do you do that?
So I'm talking on your cell phone, but you can play with your notifications here as well. So let's go to Teams. And if I click on Sales and Marketing and manage the team, this may not be it. No, I need to manage. Let me get out of this. You come up here and you click, this is for channel notifications. So this is going to be, say for instance, what channel am I in? Let's say for instance, this monthly report has notifications popping off all day. You'll come over here to the top right. You're in this channel. You'll click here, channel notifications. You can turn the notifications off except direct replies or personal mentions, or you can customize it. You can turn it off for all new posts, banner and feed, or only show in feed, or channel mentions. Gives you the options there. Let me see here. And for the application, for the Teams application, which since I'm online, it may not show me. Let me see. Notifications. And then you see how robust that is even, team mentions. If you're in a team and you're kind of the team lead, then you want to, you want to get all notifications on that maybe, or only the banner, or only show in feed. Where do you want the notification? So you'll get an email. The banner is the email. You can get banner and email, or banner only, which is what pops up down here, or only show it in the feed. And your feed is right here in activity. It'll only show it here. And if you notice down here at the bottom where I have the number 2, I'm sure that there's action in my feed. If you notice, I have action right here in activity. So that this will always show you when you have a new notification as well. So in order to change that, you're just going to come right here again, like I said, to the picture or to your profile picture. And then you're going to go to settings, and then you can change your notifications here, as well as your call information. Calls ring me, or you can forward them to voicemail. Also, you can do the same thing on your phone. So if you have your cell phone, and you're just going to do that in the settings as well. You can change settings in the Teams application, or you can do them in your phone settings. That was a great question as well.
No additional questions, but something that is cool. Can you show them how to blur their background? You mentioned being on video.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a full disclosure. Please excuse my presence. Thanks, Erica.
Oh, I forgot that you have to actually show yourself. Well, you can just go through the motions, I guess.
No, I'll show it. Like I said,
Okay.
I'll just move to the side. How about that? All right. So from here,
If you want.
Oh, Heather says she can do it. She'll take one for the team.
thank you, Heather.
You're welcome. I will do so. All right, let me share my screen so you all can see this. All right, so now you should be looking at my blank desktop. There I am. All right, let me come back in. Okay, so in order to change your background, you have to be in the desktop app. It does not work in the web-based app. So you have to be using the full version of Teams. To get to those features, there's a couple I'll share as well, but you're going to come up into the upper corner. If your toolbar is down here in the middle, then that's the toolbar you're going to go to. You're going to click on the ellipses, and you're going to scroll down to apply background effects. And I'm going to click on it. Interesting, everything just went dark.
We can still see your screen.
Interesting, because I'm on my other computer and it's blank. Wow. Okay. Well, as long as you can still see, we're good.
Yeah.
And so Microsoft has a large number of pre-built backgrounds. The top one is just blur. So I will click on it and I can preview it before I turn on the camera. And it's just going to show me what it's going to look like. So I can use some of the pre-built, assuming, there we go. I've also uploaded. So there are hacks where you can upload. I can go to Hogwarts. I can be at Cinderella's castle. So you can have some fun. The students, I believe, are defaulted where they can't do the backgrounds. Is that correct, Erica?
Sorry, I'm trying to get to mute. Actually, I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry, what's the question again?
I
If
don't think
students can have
can do the
access to
background.
I think it depends on the school district. So that might be a SLPS question. So Simona might.
Yeah, and I think, I think we just have to double check with the admin team to make sure what the settings are, but it can be disabled for students. Before we go though, before I leave, I want to show the two new views that you might see. You'll see Together Mode very soon. It's rolling out. So right now you have gallery. We're looking at a 3x3 grid. A large gallery is going to be a 7x7 grid. So educators will be able to see all of their students when their cameras turn on. They'll see all of them all in one screen. But this one's kind of fun. So I'm going to click on Together Mode. And then I'm going to see, for you brave souls out there, if you'll turn on your camera and watch what happens in Together Mode. The more people who turn the camera on, the more fun we can have. So if you're comfortable, turn it on and see what happens. So the more cameras come on, the bigger our auditorium becomes. And so now your students can look like they're actually sitting in seats and you're standing before the podium. So that's rolling out as an exciting new feature. So I think it's a lot of fun. As far as best practices for educators, set up a play meeting first, like within the first few days of school, and go through how to set this up, tell them to turn on their camera, because as soon as they do, kids are going to be kids. They're going to be goofing around and playing and having a grand old time, and your meeting will be stalled out until the novelty wears off. So I would suggest have a quick meeting before you actually have a real meeting and just say, we're going to play for a few minutes, get it out of their system. Because they're going to go nuts, just like we all are. We're waving to each other. We're having a good time. So that's coming very soon. So Together Mode, a lot of fun. The gallery, there's large gallery. Let me see if it's available now. Yep, there it is. Once I clicked and got into large gallery, and again, it works when people are sharing screens, but again, as more people begin sharing their screens, we'll get up to 49 of us all in one meeting now. So it's getting better, and this is all because educators have and business people have made those requests that, hey, you got to at least do what Zoom is doing, because we're going to keep to Zoom if you don't. That kind of threat. And so now all of these new features are becoming available. And, Teams is only 3.5 years old. So they've been working, it's very young. And from where it started to now, it's amazing how much they have added, how many features they have added based on your feedback. So cool. I just wanted to share that with you. I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen.
That was great.
Good afternoon.
It's so fun. What other questions do you all have? We have a few more minutes.
Just give her a little background. She's the principal here at Central. You know that.
Hold on, let me take care of this.
So what Arturo right now is doing is muting someone. So that's something that you can do too. If a student is loud or maybe the background is too loud, you just really hover over their picture.
And I'm going to show you how I did that. So we'll pull this back up. So when a particular, you'll see that Heather is active when her circle lights up. So you'll know exactly who's talking, and you'll just click that and you'll go ahead and mute that participant. You can also come here, if you notice here at the top right, and you can mute all. So if you have a few students that are playing, because just like Heather said, kids will be kids, you just come and you just mute them all. I like this, and I can speak from experience. I hope that I'm not stepping out of turn here saying this. I had my grandson here for about the last 6 weeks of school, and he was 6 at the time. And when they did their Zoom calls, it literally gave me a headache. So number one, shout out to all you educators. I love you all for your patience, but I do like the features that I have here in Microsoft Teams, and as far as how to handle a lot of this stuff.
Arturo, would you highlight one, since your screen's already shared, would you highlight over somebody's name, doesn't matter who, and show how to make them presenters or attendees?
Okay, so
some of the questions came up about, if I'm the only presenter when I set up my meeting, but I need a student to be able to come in and do a presentation, how do I do that? And so I thought it'd be a good place to show that.
Absolutely. So we'll just hover right here over Miss Phyllis Anderson. And the magic ellipses is what I call them. It always gives us more options. So you click that. I can make them an attendee. Or I can make, well, let me try Erica. Well, it's not really giving me the option.
I think it's just Heather set it up.
Okay.
Oh, there it goes. It's going now.
Gives me the option to change who can present. So I go ahead and click change. Now I'm changing her role. I don't know how it pulled up Vicky, but I changed Erica's role. Now I don't see Erica.
It should be underneath at the bottom of everyone. You'd have to scroll all the way down. The attendees get dropped under their own little heading at the very bottom. There they are.
So now she's just an attendee, but I'm going to go ahead and make her a presenter and change her back. This gives her the same functionality. This gives her the ability to pop off of mute and share her screen. And that's great. So that's how you would do it for your student. You would just click on the ellipses, make them an attendee. So right now, Heather has everyone set up as a presenter.
Yeah.
So when I make them an attendee, that takes away their ability to share their screen.
And they can't mute each other. They can't kick each other out of meetings. They can't kick the educator out of the meeting. So when you set up a classroom team meeting, your students are automatically by default made attendees. You don't want to change that, but you will have those situations where you do want a student who is going to do a presentation, and that's how you can, while you're in the meeting, that's how you can make them a presenter so that they can share their screen and do their presentation for the class.
Any other questions you all may have? These are all great questions and great suggestions. I'm loving it.
Maybe, Arturo, I'm noticing that so many people don't have pictures. Maybe you can show them how they can add a photo if they wanted to personalize and customize their teams.
Absolutely.
Good idea.
So I'm back in the demo tenant, and you come over here, which it would basically just have your your initials here, and you would come over here and it says change picture. You can upload a picture, you can remove a picture, but if you want to upload, it'll take you directly to your File Explorer, where you could come down and click on OneDrive. I have OneDrive Personal, where I could definitely go down into one of the millions of pictures that I have in my personal OneDrive and select a photo and change it. And then you would click open. I probably don't have let me see here. Uh-oh. So I could click on this. And now I've uploaded my photo. I need to change my photo anyway, but not to, I won't change it for the demo tenant, but does that make any sense? So that's a good thing too. It helps to keep things personalized. You're hearing my voice, and then when it helps you to put a picture to the voice, and it gives you a sense of intimacy with the speaker, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, so Heather's answering it, but Ms. Took said, what if she doesn't have OneDrive? So your File Explorer just goes and accesses everything, so you can show it one more time.
So you go to change picture, and then you'll upload a picture. So you'll have to have it on your computer at the very least. And then it would probably take you to the, let me go down some, to this PC. And then you would just go here and select pictures and select a picture from there. Let's say hypothetically, and then you would click it and click open. So wherever that picture is stored on the computer, mine just happened to be in OneDrive. So then you can upload it from there. Great question.
And while you're in that picture area, Artur, one thing that I love, because I think Artur mentioned, if you're in a group chat, so many people are sharing so many different things, you can save chats, save messages within the chat, and then to access it, if you go back to just your little face.
Oh,
yeah,
go
right
to
there.
here.
Go to
and then-
saved, and that's where all of your saved messages will show up. If
And here-
you use,
Go ahead.
if you use your mobile device, you can do that too. If you use the ellipses at the bottom, because I'm always on my phone doing Teams, it'll give you an option. It looks the same way, except it's just highlighted. Mine is highlighted in pink, but you can go there and see everything that you've saved. So that way you don't have to worry about trying to find something that Artur, sent to you 2 days ago if you're going to need it in the future. You can also email yourself from your Teams chat. So if that might be a way for you to, how she's sharing it to Outlook, like say, for instance, it can help you just manage your to-do tasks. So you have to remember that you have to go to Wingstop, just email that to yourself. I know some other professionals, they like to do that. So just a little tip and trick there.
That's great information too, Erica. I don't use the save feature as much as I should. And I always wind up using the search feature, to search for something that I was looking for. Oh, I'll remember it, and then I don't remember it until it's almost too late. So save is a great feature. So in case you didn't catch what I did, I'm going to come back over here to the chat. Let me click on this. I'm going to save this particular meeting by clicking on the ellipses. Why isn't it allowing it? Maybe because that's a video. Let's try something else. Okay. So this is marked important. So this is absolutely something I want to save, right? So I'll click on the ellipses, click to save it. And then when I need to find it days later, here I am way up here, I can come and click on my picture, come down to saved. And here's my important message. Now, this message isn't as important to me anymore, so I can just click those ellipses again, unsave the message to clear it out of my saved messages, which will be listed here. Same as for this one. Click those ellipses, maybe, unsave it. You can't unsave it. Sure you can. All right, well, it's not playing well with others right now.
Wanted to also direct everyone's attention to the chat. We want to know how you like the presentation. If you can complete the survey link, it's a long link. I should have done a smaller URL, so I apologize. But if you can click the link there, that's right there in the chat, and let us know if you learned anything. What did you think about the presentation in general? That would be awesome, so we can know how we can improve. Heather also has put a notice in the chat about a weekly meeting next Wednesday. Heather, if you want to talk about it.
Sure, yeah. So each Wednesday, we with Simona, we set up a just a weekly training session. We chose for the beginning of the year to really focus on OneNote, and we broke it up into different grade levels just so that we could have smaller groups. So we had done a couple weeks ago, we did pre-K grade 2. Last week was grades 3 through 5, and next Wednesday will be OneNote for educators who are teaching grades 6 through 8. Of course, it doesn't matter because the content is very similar. We were just looking at making it smaller group sizes. But if you are teaching high school or you are teaching fourth grade and you want to do this again, or you missed the previous week, you're more than welcome to join in. You won't be kicked out if you don't teach a middle grade. But if you want to learn more about how you can really use and leverage OneNote in the classroom, we've got this coming the 26th, and then the week after will be the high school one. So yep, so those get posted. Simona sends out the link to everybody. I'm not sure how she does that, but that goes out through her. But I also come into the educators team on Tuesday night, and I do an announcement, a reminder, and I post the join link there as well. So hopefully I'll get to see a few of you and your colleagues next Wednesday.
So we have about 5 minutes left. If you all want to put anything in the chat, we are here. Or if you want to get a few minutes back, we're okay with that too. Artur, thank you so much for showing everyone. Heather, you've also been awesome. So I'm so just happy to be a part of the team.
Yeah, Heather, I got a lot of knowledge from you today. Thank you.
Thank you for all of the things that you've been teaching. I've gotten a lot this week too. I always tell I've been working with St. Louis for a while now, and I always tell I'm no expert in any of this. I'm always constantly learning new features, new things, and so I enjoy coming to these because I get a lot out of them as well.
And like Artur mentioned, Teams is always changing. So like one thing that we might not have been able to do even last week, now we can do it. Like I didn't have the together mode last week and now I have it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. I love it.
Makes it a little challenging to keep up with it all, but it's still a lot of fun.
Just the main thing, that's why I said that my favorite feature of Microsoft Teams is that help button, because it will keep you up to date with the new things that are coming out and give you the ability. I mean, when do you get an opportunity to tell a software provider what you want that software to do, and they do it, so that's one thing I love about Teams. We really want you to be happy with the product.
That's very true.
Well, if there's nothing else, Heather, I hope you get better, and I'm going to go ahead and give the rest of you back some of your time. Please, please, please leave us some feedback. Let us know how we're doing in that link that Erica has so graciously provided us in the chats, and you all have a beautiful day.
You as well. Thanks so much, Artur and Erica, for being a part of this afternoon. I appreciate it.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And for everyone else, if you do need any support at any point, of course, if you are in the St. Louis educators team, you can ping me there on Teams. Do an @mention so that I know that you're there. Otherwise, I always feel bad if I don't get the notification. I feel bad for leaving people hanging for more than a day. We have the Wednesday weeklies coming up. We have I have the new team for the secretaries for the office staff created. So as soon as I populate it with some resources that are appropriate, I'm taking a lot of the educator stuff out because it won't be of any use to office staff. I will add you to that team, and then you can start sharing resources and everything there as well. And of course, my website is available. I have about 56 different webinars on Microsoft. You're welcome to any of those. I posted that link, and I also posted a link to my bookings page where if you want to do a small group or a one-on-one session, you can book some time with me and we can just sit down and I can walk you through steps. I can help you troubleshoot whatever you need. I'm here for. So I just want to say thank you, St. Louis, for all of your support over the last few months, and especially for this couple of days.
All right, we'll go ahead and end it, and you all have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.